are back, and we are starting Let's Play in chat. I've got Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, still chipping away at this game. I think I've played a little bit of this on EP Live before. And it's been a lot of Avengers chatting today, lots of superheroes. You know I love my superhero video games. And so I thought I'd play a little bit of this, but I want to hear from you guys. So if you've got questions, I was typing ask away, but I forget you're watching me, so go ahead and ask away. And if you've got any questions, Blake is going to join me. He's going to pop on, and T will go through any of the chat stuff here. And if we missed a comment, we'll try to get there. I'm going to try to save this Spider-Man and not let him die. Blake says hello, and we are starting 15 minutes on the clock. What time is it? Yes, we're good. We're good for time.
Who's the other character? Spider-Man and Hawkeye?
Hawkeye versus Black Suit Spider-Man.
Okay.
And I'm Spider-Man and Iron Man. And you're going to hear a lot of this, because I do a lot of button mashing when I play fighting games. But I sure love them, and I've always thought this game looks incredible, and I've heard people like Blair Farrell have told me that this game is super, super fun, and it just keeps getting better and better. I believe that Blair is as big a superhero fanatic as I am.
I doubt that. Nobody's as big a superhero fan as you, Vic.
I am a pretty big superhero fan.
Blair is also pointing out in the chat that there's a bunch of costumes on sale right now for this game. So
okay.
If you have this game and you want some costumes,
now's a good time.
To get them.
Yeah, they're cashing in on the Avengers hype. I think I'm gonna play this some more and do like a real proper review of the game. I just I got it. I played some, but I didn't really, and I think I streamed some, but I didn't really. You know, it just wasn't as good as Injustice. But I think this deserves some more real time, and I need to play it and get you guys a review.
Paul Adamson is asking about Burnout Paradise, and do you think that this indicates that EA might be making a sequel down the road, like an all-new game?
I mean, one can only hope. As I said in my review, because you think about the strategic reasons why they released it, especially coming on the heels of them saying that they're not really into remasters. I think they're testing the waters. I think they're it came out 10 years ago, so I think they're kind of touting their own internal team at Criterion and probably making those people very happy that worked on that game that are still there, seeing how it's going to do financially. But I also think that there is a little bit of a, you know, trying to turn the corner on some of the Battlefront 2 distaste. And we're going to see some of that. We're going to see a mea culpa, I think, from EA at E3.
About the whole loot box thing?
Yeah, and I think we're probably going to see them announce a bunch of titles that maybe would have been surprising from EA over the last couple of years.
You mean like more Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing that, and we respect that, and I'll have a review of A Way Out soon. I'm really looking forward to jumping into that game. That's on my to-play pile. Yeah, I think EA is a great game company, and we forget how many great games they've made, and Burnout is one of those franchises. It's silly that we don't have new ones. I think they need to not try to think of every game they make as $1 billion.
I think that was the problem. Like, some financial person at EA said, "Well, we've got Burnout and we've got Need for Speed.
Yeah.
If we're going to invest it, because they look at these things as investments.
Yeah.
They probably looked at Need for Speed as a safer return on investment because more people know the name."
Well, you know
That's probably what happened.
Yeah, but you look at a thing like Ready Player One, which we don't know if it's going to be successful or not yet, but you look at something like that, which is loaded to bear with all kinds of pop culture moments and memories. And I probably hazard to guess that there aren't that many EA sort of inclusions in that movie. And I think that's a missed opportunity. And how does EA do that other than invest in their own properties so that they become pop culture, you know, important pieces of fiction out there?
Yeah.
You know, like they had some things that really, you know, crossed over, like The Sims and things like that, and Need for Speed. And
the one that comes to my head is Plants vs. Zombies, but they just bought that. They didn't make it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's theirs, right? So legitimately it is their thing, and like Burnout is their thing. And the thing I always said about Burnout is that they got to, they needed to get to 3 until it was really unequivocally great. Like anybody that touched that game was like, holy. I remember I got a nondescript PlayStation 2 disc, it was a PlayStation 3 disc.
Hang on, I'm just gonna go check the audio.
Oh, okay.
Keep talking.
All right. Got this PlayStation 3 disc that didn't even have anything on it. It's just like, here's your takedown review thing. And I just could not believe what I played. It was so good. And I feel like games, they need to kind of go through this iterative process, and the companies that have these IP, you know, they have to kind of trust in them and let them grow and grow and get better and better. And that's what they did with Burnout. And then it just went away, and that just doesn't make any sense, you know? Like, let it take a breath, that's fine, but to be just completely, for 10 years, it's been kind of gone, except for some mobile stuff. It's crazy. And then there's also been a deluge of Need for Speed games that have tried to capitalize on the, you know, the $1 billion that Underground made, and they really haven't been able to get there. Almost.
Do you remember that Need for Speed movie, Vic?
Yeah, it was
that
way
Steven
better.
Spielberg produced.
It was way better than the terrible I thought it was going to be. Like it was way more enjoyable than that. I liked Rami Malek was in that movie. He was actually.
I had high hopes for it.
You did?
Well, it was produced by Steven Spielberg, and the director of it had made that.
You were so young then, Blake.
The director of it had made that soldier movie, Act of Valor or something, that was really good.
Yes.
And it had Jesse Pinkman in it.
Yeah, Jesse Pinkman. Patrick Furtado, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for letting me know about the audio issues.
Thanks for the super chat.
I just killed the game audio.
Oh, okay.
It sounded like a record scratching. It was like.
Oh, there's some kind of a weird thing going on. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I think it might be a copyright. What's that? DHCP.
Yeah.
Through the HDMI on the computer. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Figure it out later.
There's always stuff with streaming.
There's always stuff.
Yeah.
There was a good one in here. Let me find it. Oh yeah, Kevin Wiley wants to know your thoughts on the Nintendo Direct last week. We briefly touched on it, but I don't think you did an actual like sit-down discussion about it.
Oh, it's very exciting, and it feels like Smash is massive, and we are way before E3.
Yeah.
Right. So that's exciting because Smash is massive and also very predictable. We knew it was coming. We also, you know, speculation is that it's a totally new Smash. It's not just a remake.
It's like 99% confirmed that it is.
Yeah.
What's his name? The HAL Laboratory guy pretty much said it was.
Yeah.
Because HAL wasn't. We talked about this in the rundown. HAL wasn't involved in the last one.
Okay.
And they're credited below the trailer in this one, and Namco, which was involved in the last one, isn't. So it is almost certainly an entirely new game.
Okay, well that's big news, and most of the other stuff was fun and cool. I mean, I saw that Captain Toad is coming back, but
Captain Toad.
I feel like there's so much room for these Wii U titles that didn't get any love for them to like finally receive some of the love that they deserve. That's cool, but a game of that size, that magnitude, to be launched so far before E3, that's telling. That says to me that they've got some really, really big stories coming up. So it was a solid Nintendo Direct, predictable that we've got Smash coming, but what wasn't said is almost more exciting, you know?
What I like is that it shows, once again, that Nintendo is not resting on their laurels.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, the Switch is a huge hit, but they're still not satisfied. They still want to, like, get more people buying it. Like, they just had their big holiday sales rush, and now it's like, in March, they're like, okay, we want to keep the ball rolling, so what do? Oh, we'll announce Smash.
Yeah.
So I like that they're this motivated to keep churning out good games and new everything. Like, I think that reads very positively for the future of them as a company.
I'm super stoked to see how the third-party support starts to build up for this machine. Yeah. You know, like, and to play some really great games. I mean, that's the thing, like, doing these buried treasures so often like that we're doing is, like, it really becomes clear how many amazing games this industry is sitting on. There's just so much really good stuff out there.
I was thinking about that earlier because we did a story about Battlegrounds coming to mobile devices.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the Switch because the Switch is not as powerful as the PS4.
Right.
But it is more powerful than a smartphone. So if you can port a game like Battlegrounds to a smartphone, you can just as easily port it to the Switch.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna see more big games like that coming to the Switch, given its install base.
This game is beautiful.
Like this, there's more. There's
Really
gonna
good.
be.
I want to see this on the Switch.
Yeah, it won't be much longer before there's more Switches than there are PS4s and Xbox Ones. So if you're gonna port a game to the Xbox One, you would also port it to the Switch.
You think? You don't think that there's going to be some major competition on the other side? Like I feel like we may see that
the PS4,
PS4 on the
Switch,
go,
yeah.
or whatever they're going to call it. Timberwolf, that's very nice, thank you. But I also feel like Xbox. I said this the other day. They're taking over LA Live, which is a huge venue right near the convention center.
It's called the Microsoft Theater.
Yeah,
the specific screen that they're or the theater that they're using,
with which they like own and they sponsor.
Yeah. Like, why is not every Microsoft keynote at the Microsoft Theater, right?
I think this is going to be a huge thing. Should I say what I'm thinking? Or
Yeah,
should I wait?
The prediction you gave
Yeah.
me.
It's a crazy prediction.
If you want everyone to see it, and then if you're wrong, everyone will know you were wrong. But
That's okay.
Just go for it.
I don't know if we save that for like an E3 prediction idea, like a segment, or we just let these wonderful people know.
I think you've kept them in suspense long enough.
Okay, I'm just going to say what I'm predicting.
This is a crazy prediction.
It's crazy. But Gabe Newell said games are coming from Valve. The Steam box bit the dust. It came out and it's dead. The Xbox One X is effectively like it's inches from being an awesome gaming PC that you can plug up to your television. What if Xbox is buying Valve? Half-Life 3 is going to be announced as part of the new initiative because Valve's going to be making games.
With HTC Vive support on the Xbox.
Yes, and then the Xbox will be rebranded to the Steam box.
So
and it has Steam built into its interface.
So you're saying Microsoft is going to buy Valve and then make a whole bunch of awesome Valve games as exclusive to a new Xbox/Steam machine.
And the capper on that prediction, all of this is so utopian, but the capper on that prediction is they will also announce that Steam will be on other platforms, and you'll be able to. They'll work it out with PlayStation, and they'll maybe work it out with Nintendo as well.
So I could play Half-Life 3 on the Switch.
I don't know. And they'll use streaming technology because they got to kind of compete with the onslaught of people being able to stream and buy subscriptions to all kinds of stuff.
I like this prediction, Vic.
It's pretty crazy, right? Like it's so big, but it's I was like, okay, what if we did the piece that
because there was a story a few months ago
they were going to buy, and also this huge E3 announcement. Like they're wanting to change the world here. You know, they're coming with something. They're not just coming with a new Halo. You know, they're coming with something.
I mean, everybody's getting into content creation now, so
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft starts buying film studios and stuff like that.
Well, they did that before.
I guess they tried that before.
Yeah, but maybe I think they went about it thinking that film was better than games in a way, you know, and maybe spent more money than they could really kind of justify.
Yeah. Because
the film industry is very good at being expensive, and more mature at being expensive than the video game space is. But I feel like they can see that games, we're always going to be playing video games. You know, we'll always have a screen. We will always be playing video games. And Microsoft is not going away from that. So the only way that they stay in the market and can succeed is if they go harder at it, you know? And something like that could be huge. And the other thing that makes me think that is Gabe Newell used to work at Microsoft. As far as I know, it's not a public company or shaping up to be a public company.
Valve isn't a public company, no. It's private.
So instead of them growing to the size and stature of them wanting to go public, why don't they just go with one of the most established public companies and let their shareholders and their
geographically
their board.
They're right next to the Microsoft campus, right? They're in Redmond, right?
So I don't know. That's my crazy idea. Doy Owen says keep dreaming. John Hitbox says somebody get me a towel. I don't know what the hell John Hitbox is talking about.
If it makes a new Half-Life a reality, hey, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. Just anything that gets Valve making games again. Yeah, like that would be great.
I mean, wouldn't that be smart on everybody's part to do that, right? Like, I don't see what the real negative about that would be, especially if Microsoft says, They probably wouldn't want to support Linux. But honestly, they'd be making money there too, right? That's the thing, is that they'd make money on the Mac. They'd make money everywhere.
Wasn't anti-Linux Steve Ballmer's thing at Microsoft, and he's gone, so maybe they will.
Mondo Blasto, I didn't really talk about it being dead in the water because the news just kind of evaporated. You know, like every console since we started at EP, like people have built them and then they've figured out how to get them to us and the other, reviewers and the other outlets out there. And there was a little bit of a murmur when the Steam boxes started to happen, and then it just stopped, and nobody sent us a Steam box. And,
the Steam box is, I mean, you never hear about the Steam box. That's how you know it's not a big deal anymore,
Yeah, Timberwolf says he wants his Steam library on his Xbox One.
But how many people out there have a Steam box? Yeah. Everybody has Steam. How many of you have a Steam box?
Well, you know what?
Probably not very many.
You look at the Digital Foundry look at the 4K up-resed version of the original Burnout compared to the Xbox One X, and the Xbox One X just trounces it, and it's not the exact same code for code, but like the Xbox One X is a really competent machine that could be flipped to be much more than it is, And that's also why Microsoft can't announce a new Xbox now.
Not this year.
Yeah.
Next year, maybe.
But then if Sony comes out with an intimation that they've got a new machine, then they're a year behind, which they cannot be.
Yeah. One prediction I will make for E3 is that Microsoft will announce VR support on the Xbox One. So you'll be able to plug in Windows mixed reality headsets.
You mean on the Steam box?
No, on the Xbox One X.
on the Steam Box X.
Maybe the first launch Xbox won't be able to do it, but HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and Windows MR headsets they'll announce support for it at E3.
Well, if they call it the Steam Box, it also would solve a major naming issue or branding issue that they have with Xbox One, because it's really hard to think of what the next Xbox is going to be called when you start with Xbox One, unless you call it Xbox 2. I guess you could just go that literal, but that just seems...
Just call it the Xbox. Just call it that.
Just the X. I thought that's what they were going to do with this thing.
Okay, bye, everyone.
Okay. That gives you something to think about over the weekend there. Thank you all for joining us live. And if you're watching the archive of this, thank you so much for checking out EP Live. We do record them as often as we possibly can. And we are coming back on Monday with a brand new EP Live for you. I don't know exactly what's going into the show just yet, but we'll let you know. And we also have a new classic episode of EP going up over the weekend. You guys rock. Thank you so much. Remember, we've got tons of content for you to check out. If you do check it out and you do like it, please hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell. And if you're so inclined, that sponsorship button too. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.